Hello there, I'm the serial plagiarist, and today I'm doing another response to DadOfXander. You know, the out-of-touch whack job who thought Disney saved Star Wars, and his arguments were really bargain bin. It's clear that he never really looked into the whys and hows of the topic. That and his tendencies to play staring contest with his audience, that was pretty unnerving. But little did I know, he had even more out-of-touch, socially illiterate videos. So one of his greatest hits, I say that loosely, is this video, where he states, quite bluntly, I hate Revenge of the Sith.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
I hate Revenge of the Sith.
Heresy!
Okay, hate is a strong word.
Not even at the 10-second mark and this guy is already backtracking and admitting his title was 100% clickbait. Way to give Mike Zero a run for his money.
But Revenge of the Sith is at the bottom of my Star Wars movie rankings.
You know something that you're not telling us, you slimy scumbag liar!
Now I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on this video.
Correct!
But let me tell you what I dislike about Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Let the accused state their defense.
The first thing about Revenge of the Sith that drives me bonkers is the reliance on CGI.
CGI bad, practical good. You know, people aren't going to be very accustomed to hearing criticism on Revenge of the Sith if your first point is computer-generated imagery.
Right from the get-go, it takes me out of the movie-going experience. For crying out loud, even R2-D2 is CGI in the majority of his scenes.
Really? I was unaware. I think that's a testament to the special effects rather than a detractor.
And this isn't good CGI. Now, for 2005, it was epic CGI and it looked great. But compared to what they're doing now, the CGI in this movie is, in a word, distracting.
Yeah, that's kind of a self-defeating argument. Movies today obviously have a huge advantage over 2005 special effects that were trying to push limitations. In fact, YouTube was less than a year old in 2005. Aside from that, this guy gives no practical explanation for why the CGI is bad.
Almost everything that we see behind the actors is CG, and it really pulls me out of the movie-going experience.
Tell me how they could have done General Grievous practically. And don't you dare show me this and say, duh, it would have been easy.
I mean, for crying out loud, the R2-D2 prop is just amazing, and that you got rid of that so that you can have a CG R2 just makes me sick.
I didn't even realize R2-D2 was CGI personally. I guess I was having too much of a good time to notice. In all the times I've watched this movie over the years.
What else do I not like about Episode 3? I cannot stand the scene where Palpatine faces off against Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, and the Jedi Masters.
Aegon, Kalar, and Saesee Tiin. Put them in with Mace Windu and Kit Fisto, and you've got the boys. In fact, in case you didn't know, this isn't even the first time the squad assembled. They banded together in Star Wars Republic issue 65, published in 2004.
If you want to have Palpatine take out all the Jedi Masters, that's great. Let's show his strength. Let's show his power in the dark side. But he literally jumps in front of them and as slowly as possible, and 3 of them are gone.
So you're criticizing the pacing of the duel. I don't even think this detracts from the experience, since in the film context, they're nobodies. But obviously the point was to show how powerful Palpatine was, and how evenly matched he was with Mace Windu, that the other Jedi Masters couldn't keep up. Aside from Kit Fisto, who had slightly faster reflexes. But still, I think I see what you're saying, that it happens too slowly. But be that as it may, the way Palpatine rushed into battle and lunges at the first 2 of Windu's homies clearly presents that this isn't as slow as it may come off in the movie. Also, I remember when I spoke about the Phantom Menace, there was someone in the comments, and he said that apparently the camera couldn't keep up with lightning fast movements, so they had to slow it down a tad bit. And I think perhaps a similar thing happened here, where it might have been faster while shooting, but the camera started blurring, and they had to slow it down so that the camera could process it properly. That's just a guess, but that's probably what happened.
Make that a little bit more. Show us Palpatine's power and strength in the dark side. That didn't do it for me.
I also kind of feel Palpatine's strengths were expert manipulation and scheming anyways, not his practical power in the Force directly.
The next item has to do with a fan favorite character. I am not a fan of Chewbacca's inclusion in Revenge of the Sith.
Heresy!
There is no logical story point for having Chewbacca appear in this movie.
Except for establishing that Chewbacca is a natural ally to the Jedi Order. And actually the reason Obi-Wan decided to hire him and Han Solo to pilot the Falcon. Because as untrustworthy Han was, Obi-Wan knew he could rely on Chewie. Yeah, it's subtle, but it's there. Turns out it wasn't pointless fan service after all. And I've said that the planet Kashyyyk itself is meant to show us more of the Clone Wars.
He is literally there just so fans can go, hey look, Chewbacca!
That face says everything you need to know about this guy.
Again, takes me out of the narrative by throwing that clear fan service in there for no reason.
Chewbacca is like a minor character anyways. And dude, let me ask you a question. If you watch these films in chronological order, like you're supposed to, how does it ruin the experience? It doesn't. This is petty hindsight bias.
I got another one. Anakin's turn to the dark side. I get it. Palpatine's a master manipulator. He's been sowing the seeds, and that is fantastic, and I really like the way they showed that off.
What?
But what really gets me with the big turn to the dark side is at the very end of the Battle of the Heroes, where Anakin or Vader looks up and screams in that really hatred of a voice, I hate you! This is his brother, his father figure.
Well, actually, I wouldn't quite say Obi-Wan is his father figure. I'm pretty sure after Qui-Gon died, Palps took advantage and rigged the game so that Anakin will look up to him. I think by this point, Obi-Wan was more of a former brother-in-arms.
He wouldn't have gone so quickly from that type of relationship to I hate you.
Well, Obi-Wan did cut off his limbs, so...
I just think the progression from father figure to I hate you was too quick, too forced, and not shown well enough.
It ends up being an empty statement though because you don't go into detail enough. This video is less than 5 minutes long. That reeks of this guy not actually having enough points against the movie. Or he just wanted to generalize his points for easy views. Well, joke's on him.
But Patrick, there has to be more for you to say that this is your least favorite movie. Oh, there is. So the real reason that I am not an episode 3 fan, it's what they did to Padme.
Let me guess, she doesn't do much in the movie, even though she's pregnant, and it's mostly the conflict between Anakin and Obi-Wan, our boys?
We have 2 movies showing off the total badassery of Padme Amidala. She's a very strong character. She thinks for herself. She fights for herself. And then we get to episode 3, and George Lucas has reduced this strong female character.
You know, I thought people were joking when they said that was a term, but now someone is unironically using that term, and I can't help but cringe.
To a lovesick puppy dog. She has no strong moments in this movie whatsoever.
Define strong exactly, because actually, within reason of her being pregnant and not being able to do much, she does implore Anakin to not go down the dark path and has faith in him even after he's fallen on the brink of death. But nah, I'm guessing she has to be an active battle participant. But as soon as that happens, it's just like that idiot from The Last of Us Part 2 who put herself in open danger because reasons, instead of waiting until her kid was born. Yeah, sorry that George Lucas isn't a lunatic like Neil Druckmann, and understands that women need to stay out of trouble when their kid is growing in their tummies.
They took that from her character, and I cannot forgive that abuse of Padme.
The way you say it too, it almost comes across like you think George Lucas was a physically abusive spouse or something.
Now, to be fair, I love all Star Wars, so I don't hate Revenge of the Sith.
Clickbait.
But I definitely do not think that it is not the end-all, be-all of Star Wars movies that so many fans seem to claim it is nowadays.
Nowadays? Alright, this guy subscribes to the whole prequel hate mentality of 2012. Or at least thinks that it was a genuine thing. Gee, I seem to respond to a lot of people who don't know what year it is.
Ian McDiarmid is perfect as Palpatine in this movie, and his acting shines through more than anything there is.
I'm kind of seeing this guy as a complete pushover, because he pussies out on what his video is called. It's a lack of commitment to making your point. By God, do I hate people who do that.
The choreography in the Battle of the Heroes is fantastic. I absolutely love every aspect of that lightsaber duel.
What was the point of this video exactly? You don't go into detail, and you backpedal on what the title says. Two birds died with one stone to make this video.
Ewan McGregor, as always, is just perfect as Obi-Wan. And his line after he defeats Grievous, so uncivilized. Awesome.
This is the sort of guy who just wants to be uncontroversial, but at the same time, he made a video dunking on Revenge of the Sith. You don't do that.
But this movie has real problems. And it's because of those problems that I put it at the bottom of my Star Wars ranking order. So let me hear it. I know I'm going to get it all in the comments. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you love episode 3.
And finished. Okay, so if I had to sum up my problems with this video, it's a lack of detail or explanation, and a general backtracking mentality towards the end. He is not very strong at commitment or standing by his points, or even making a video that demonstrates his opinion. As I said 3 videos ago, I really hate the people who say all Star Wars is good Star Wars. Because it's typically a mindless love for anything that has Star Wars on the cover. And it's general toxic positivity and an inability to be strong and admit when something isn't good. There are hundreds of Star Wars stories at the very least. And a lot of them, especially under Disney, are quite bad. So in general, people say that all Star Wars is good, have no concept of quality control. It's a blatant example of a blind, delusional love for something that isn't even Star Wars. So with that being said, that just about wraps up this video. I'm JJ Plagiarisms, and until next time, what are stories but mystery boxes?
Under the mountain.